for more, kid? Well, let's take a look at your map.
Hi guys, welcome back. Scatlink here, and we're off for more of a Hat in Time to Death Wish as part of the Sealed the Deal DLC in order to get 110% on our file, as long as DLC 1 is left installed. So your progress adds up to that, because otherwise if the content doesn't exist, then there you go. And, well, everything that we've done so far is pretty much what we did in the last episode, excluding Beat the Heat, although we did give that a quick overhaul again, because that's what we did before we actually do the Art of Cruise of the DLC 1, Seal the Deal. But we did a little bit of an overhaul with that, as long as taking a bunch of hit lists from the Snatcher, going through outer space to kill some UFOs, grab some coins in Mafia Town, escape a rift, and get through Dead Bird Studio with upto security, which wasn't actually that bad. I just misremembered the rules, so I had 4 deaths that were not necessary. But what I forgot to do was actually accept the reward for completing the Rift Collapse, which is just a... I don't know why that is... That's just a continuous thing now. The cursor's just gone. But yeah, it's this bow right here. It's a ribbon, not a bow. Excuse me, but it is basically a sprint hat flare, and I guess we'll wear it for now because why not? It's a nice little bow. It is affected by die. You can only get it if you complete the first Rift Collapse. Speaking of Rift Collapses, that is exactly what we are starting on in this episode. This is immediately available. We don't need to actually spend any stamps or have a total the amount of stamps in order to access it. It's kind of weird how they lock it out similar to Power Stars in a Mario game. You don't spend them, you just need them. But yeah, this doesn't have any requirement other than beating Security Breach. We've got another Rift Collapse to do, Dead Bird Studio. The rules are exactly the same. You have 3 lives unless you have at least beaten the main requirement to beat, which is just beating it. You will not have a life system, which means that you'll just, so instead of losing 3 times, and then you have to wait 5 minutes, beat it once if possible, and then go for the bonuses if you can. I probably might do that myself, so I'll probably be showing runs after the first one, but then again, I know what I'm doing for this particular one, so that shouldn't be a problem. Obviously, post-commentating, that'll be a thing. Bonus requirements are the same as the previous Rift Collapse and all Rift Collapses. You have to obviously beat it. Bonus requirements being that you have to have 30 or more seconds remaining, and you have to collect all the Rift Pons. With that, what's the Snatcher's... the Snatcher's tip is basically telling you to use the camera badge to pause time and just move the camera around to find the Pons. Which I guess is helpful, but you have to get to that point in order to be, like, that sub-level in order to do that in the first place. So, again, I would say look up a guide, but I technically am the guide, but I will be showing failures as well. With that, let's get into it. We've got a prize for this one as well, which is looking like a bucket in the silhouette. So first of all, I'm only showing off a couple of very stupid and silly fails, mainly because, you know, you only have 3 lives, and when you lose them, you know what that means, a 5-minute waiting time. What the... what? It's a... Okay, I don't know if I actually sped those up or just had a bit of a fail montage. I don't even know if I had post-commentary because obviously I'm still recording this, but... nothing was working that... Why am I all the way back here? The last thing I was doing was... Oh, it's because it's the Rift Collapse, therefore it counts as being in that area, so... should restart me outside the Snatch because it's from a Death Wish, but there we are. I don't know what happened there. For some reason I just couldn't do my jumps, and then when vaulting on that gate, or wall climbing on the gate, she just failed to do so. She kind of just jittered and fell, and I wasn't doing any of the jumps properly. Some of that was my fault. But yeah, even if you do not lose all 3 lives and quit out like I did at the very end there on that final take, I've got to wait 5 minutes. This is exactly what I'm saying, and the problem is that, you know, to get to the end, you need the required amount of Rift Pons to even get through the pipe, to get to the next sub-level. So if I can't even do that, you're going to have to wait. And the problem is that you're going to have to get the majority of them to get through anyway, so if you are getting most of the Pons in order to just get to the end as quickly as possible, you probably are going to get the plus 30 minutes remaining bonus anyway. Most of the time that's going to happen alongside, because you'll be skipping Pons you don't want to get, or you're having trouble with. But I wall climbed off those boxes and I didn't, like, grab the ledge, and I just somehow, like, fell just short. That doesn't normally happen, but... well, it doesn't normally happen in that particular instance, but it does normally happen with me, specifically in the Death Wishes. I'm just voicing my concerns here because that was a pretty bad take, because I can get through that. It seems complicated, especially in that particular sub-level with the tower of boxes, and it is, believe me. But if you know what you're doing, which I should do, that's a thing. Finally, I can hop back in. That's bloody annoying. If I fail 3 times a pop each time, those 5 minutes are gonna rack up considerably. Good thing that I can edit this, so it doesn't take that long. Okay, so now for the full thing. First of all, with Deadbird Studio, the major issue is mostly when it comes to the zip lines, climbing up walls, and more importantly, the big box room in the middle, and the last segment being that you can get caught by owls. As you saw within this first area, for some reason I have a lot of trouble just climbing up walls or grabbing the ledges and then vaulting by just not moving, or sometimes vaulting over it. That's kind of a problem. Also, in close quarters, the camera don't really help, because it likes to zoom in when it goes behind something immediately, and it makes you lose your where you are, your placement in the thing. And getting up these zip lines, as I said, you could be really unlucky on taking damage. And remember, when you take damage, you freeze for a second, like what happens when you get hit in a Mario game. I like how I can keep comparing Hat in Time to Mario, because that pretty much is exactly how it is structure-wise. But it's like, with this particular point here, this box room, this is the room that costs me quite a lot of time, because you need to know where the Pons are, and Pons are in places that they weren't before. This is one of the prime examples. This one down here in this corner, you got to get back over there, and if you don't, you're pretty much going to lose more than enough time. I remember when I was doing this the first time, this was probably the one I hated the most, because it was all over the place. But it's actually quite structurally sound for this sort of thing, if you know what you're doing. As you can see, I'm kind of like methodically going from place to place, doing some curved long jumps to angle myself in the correct way. There are different routes. I mean, the route that I adapted my route from, which was from Crab Bar, I pretty much took a slightly different direction from him. So getting through the big block room, the storage room, was the major issue there. And of course, you want to have the magnet badge on once again, so you can grab the Pons when you pass by. This room, however, the red lines would fake you out, because you might think you have to hit the panels. No, you don't. Don't worry about that. The Pons are what you need. That's all you have to worry about, as well as not getting caught, like I did here. And I was worrying, like, oh, do I restart now? And I was like, screw it. I'm going to just try again, because I can get up pretty quick. I have fallen down once before at the very top, and I was able to still make it up and win. Thing is, though, I used to think that the time limit was quite tight. I don't know if it's been changed or not, but I'm able to actually do this pretty fast. But I kind of surprised myself in this run, as you'll see in the end here, because I failed. You saw me get caught. I was respawned back at the beginning of the area, so I didn't actually have to do a second run of this. So we're just going to have a little bit of problem here with the rift, because the camera decides to just be up the butt, and we don't want that. Did I do? I did all 3 in 1! I'm not normally that good, and I messed up as well. Okay, I remember that being a little bit more tight than before, but that could have been pre-patch. Okay, so I must mention, even though I probably have mentioned it a couple of times before, there have been patches since the launch of DLC 1, Seal the Deal. Even after DLC 2 came out, there have still been a couple of patches to fine-tune the difficulty for Death Wishes, so they're not too difficult, and for whatever reason this time it didn't send me back to the telescope for Chapter 2 for some reason. But this time it's actually spit me out here, like expected. But yeah, it's the thing I hate about that the most is basically just the jumps, the zip lines, or getting caught because they just happen to be in the wrong spot when you do it. I probably talked about all that when fast forwarding, but yeah.
Hey look, it's the annoying kid who dies all the time.
Thank you for that. But hey, I got it on my I didn't actually reset there, did I? I actually got that after waiting for the 5 minutes. Wow, okay, so I just had to wait for 5 minutes. But yes, we actually do have a reward here, so we'll take that. Metallic. Dunk yourself in paint. It does exactly what it says, literally, on the tin. We equip that, we come out of that menu, and look at us. We are Metal Hat Kid. Well, Bo Kid in this case. There we are. Now we're Metal Hat Kid. We're getting all Mario 64 up in this shit. Well, not exactly, but we're close. We just got a metallic sheen to ourselves. There were no facial features, no nothing, just like Mario himself. Yeah, and funnily enough, you can actually see that the badges are kind of covered up as well. I'm not entirely too sure what they use for the reflective, what texture they use for the reflective pattern, because that's how reflective patterns are made. They're just like, with a lot of lighting on top of a certain particular texture, but I don't know what that is. But I don't know why I'm mentioning that, because that's how it is with like Mario, as well as like older games as well, in terms of that sort. I don't know why I'm mentioning that. I thought it would just be something pretty cool. Muffet's die is broken, I forgot about that. But you know what, we'll stick with cardboard for now, because with metal it kind of throws me off a little bit. So yeah, that's a thing. Also, I think I'm going to take that off and just go with the... You know what, I feel like we need... I think I need to channel my rage a bit. We're going to go with the Soul Eater, because... And oh boy, because, and for some reason my completion stat isn't on again. If we come back into the menu, we've got yet something else that is not actually locked off to us. The only requirement is to beat the Rift Collapse of Deadbird Studio. This is going to be the meat of this video. 0 jumps. If you jump, you die. No questions about that. You will just die. Jumping equals death. If you leave the ground, your life support is cut off. But the Snatcher was saying with a light tap, your ice hat can be used to give you some extra height without having to actually jump. There are a few things that actually count as... that don't count as jumping. We'll get to that. So you need to collect any timepiece in the game, any of the 46, without jumping. Also, you have to collect 4 without jumping, and you have to clear the train rush without jumping. So if you clear train rush, that pretty much goes to all 3 candles. Completing train rush, of course, you get that one, and that's out of the way, which I will admit is the hardest that's required. But with any timepiece without jumping, well, if you're going to go for train rush, then that fulfills that requirement already, as well as collect 4 other timepieces, so you would just have to collect 3 others, as well as train rush, because otherwise you could just do 4 and then do train rush. Why would you put yourself through the extra hassle? You need to choose your levels carefully, and I have some curated choices to help us out with this mission. So, we're going to enable it, and that means from now on, when we go into any level, because this is active, we will die. I don't think it will happen on the hub world though. No, we can still jump, because, you know, you would have to actually jump to get some of the levels, otherwise you couldn't do enough. Did that lid just flicker? By the way, there's a conductor kid in there. One of the conductor's kids in there. But yeah, so I'm going to go through some of the things that will actually hurt you. And for that, for now, we're going to have to actually go into a level so I can show you what actually does kill you and what don't. First of all, for one of the missions that I do suggest, we are going to go into Chapter 1, Act 1 for our first piece. Clearly, this particular Death Wish is inspired by those fan-made challenges of, can we beat Super Mario 64 without jumping? 64 is the first thing that pops into my head, because I think that was also the first one, because it's like, oh, you have to do it with, like, you can't do the whole game with 0 A-presses, but you can do half an A-press, which I don't understand how that works. It's a digital button, it's either on or off, so whatever. So what quantifies as a jump in this game? Well, obviously, jumping. Immediate death. Now, don't worry if you have any of them ticked. Thank you for that. Don't worry if you have any of the 4 going on, and if you die, you won't lose all of it, like what happened with the bloody Pecky birds, whatever they're called. They're basically just, they will not reduce you back to 0 out of 4. So, jumping is out of the question, that means double jumping as well. We need the ice hat for this. Now, because I have no bonk, I can actually lunge into a wall. If you wall jump, that also counts as jumping. But as you saw there, using the ice hat doesn't count as a jump, it literally just gives you elevation. But that means you're able to lunge and then climb onto things. But as you noticed there, I jumped out of a lunge. I pressed the A button to jump out of a lunge. So if I lunge again, even if I'm not in the air, and jump off, even if I wanted to get the speed boost, I'm pressing A, and yet that ain't killing me. Lunge cancelling, even if you're in the air, lunge cancelling and lunge boosting, by pressing the A button to jump out of a lunge, does not count as jumping. So you are fine on that. So if you think you're going to overshot with a lunge, you can jump out of that. So what do we need to do here? Well, those are the only things that I know that actually quantify as a jump. It literally just means jumping or jumping off of a wall. Jumping out of a lunge, however, doesn't count. I'm guessing just because of just leaving the ground with a jump is what kills you. And that includes walls, solid objects. So how are we going to get this timepiece? Well, that's not the right way to do it. I need to use the hat, lunge, and, well, either jump out of the lunge in order to not bonk and hit the wall in order to climb, or, and I do recommend this, the no bonk badge. You want the no bonk badge, because even Mad Hatter may be helpful in terms of recharge. You need the hook shot for certain things, and that should just be part of your main moveset when you get it, but it ain't, so I always have that equipped. It's like the Ocarina of Time, or the Wind Waker, I always have it equipped. And, well, maybe I could get rid of the magnet. Maybe I don't really need the magnet, so yeah, I'll probably swap you out for the Fast Hatter for now. Mad Hatter, Fast Hatter, you know what I mean. Basically, I just gotta keep Ice Hat lunging around the place to get height. Thankfully, if it's not that high, you can still get some height out of that. Jumping off of, jumping off of all of them, I don't think hurts you. If you jump after bouncing all those things, which I think is a double jump, that'll kill you. So, we probably don't want to do that. I should have experimented it right there, but I didn't. I'm gonna die here. I don't even know why I'm messing about with these guys. I should just be getting out of here, to be honest. Oh, there we are. But yeah, so I guess we'll test out double jumping in a minute. For some reason I didn't think about that, but I would assume because that's a double jump, which is like the extension of your normal jump, that would be that. So let's just take this guy out and grab this timepiece, because that is number 1. And number 2 is actually the first act of Subcon Forest, so we'll get into that, because we don't actually need to leave the floor for that for the most part. Getting this is a bit of a problem. Oh, how do we get this? Well, what if we just do this? Nope, that doesn't give us enough height. Yeah, grabbing the timepiece is actually more of a problem. Oh, what? Come on! Really? Really? I was in the middle of a slide. Why did that kill me? Oh, I just got swerved. What the hell? Oh. 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 I did not... Because I never die in the first act, I did not realise this was a checkpoint, even though it says when you go into the cutscene it's a checkpoint. Okay, well, I was going to cut, but we're still here. Still, that was a needless death. The other deaths were for experimentation, just show you what is a jump and what isn't, for the most part, but yeah, I kind of screwed up on that. But that don't look as high. Yeah, that wasn't as... For some reason, it was higher than before. And trying to get height, I somehow killed myself by trying to cancel out of a lunge. Okay, so we are in the village, and as you know, we need to grab all of the paintings. For the most part, you don't need to jump, and whatever you can jump, you can probably do, like, you know, as I mentioned already, the Ice Hat, Lunge, and Cancel to climb up walls, preferably with the no bump badge, as I mentioned earlier. That's definitely the build you want. Ice Hat is pretty much necessary, especially for Train Rush, and you might be thinking that Train Rush might just be hard because of, you know, the platforming that you'll need to do, and I'm going to mash B to go through this, because you can do that despite telling you to press A. Thank you for making me lose the painting, though, even when we're doing a Death Wish that he wants us to just basically do a contractual obligation like before. He still has to somehow slow us down. It's like, you want these jobs to be done. Why are you making this difficult for me? And if you're making it difficult for me, I'm not going to get the job done, and then you're going to be the one screwed out. So don't do that, please, Snatchy boy. Just saying. I'm going to use B to chuck it so I don't do a mispress. So let's just kill these, destroy all these fine paintings, excuse me, not kill, the same thing, I guess, or whatever. And I'm going to actually do this in the intended way that was shown before. Going up here. Oh wait, can I actually do this with the Ice Hat? No, because I'm going to wall jump. Why did I do that? So this one's a bit of a problem. We need to get up there. So I feel like... I buggered that one up. Right, I feel like I got to do a lunge cancel after the hat. There we are. And I'm on... I don't get enough height. There might be another way I'm doing this. Hang on. I forget how I did this one, actually. Like that! Haha! That's how you do it. You gotta do a couple of lunges. Just don't jump out of the lunge. Well, jump out of the lunge, but don't jump if you hit the floor. So now I've got to do that again here. we are. And now I can get this one. So that one may be a little bit nerve-wracking for you. But that's another one done. Right, so now we need to get up there, which is not so bad, I will admit. I would have liked to face the right direction with that mushroom. I kind of done that in the wrong angle. What?! How did I cancel out of that? How am I doing that? How am I doing that? I know how I'm doing that. I'm pulling back before pressing A. They reintroduced that for speedrunning. People like to hold back while moving forward in a lunge, and holding back is the same as pressing A to cancel out of a lunge, but I do that and then I press A. But I didn't think I could double jump out of doing that as well. No, I didn't. I touched the floor and I must have jumped. Oh, that's annoying. Can I turn that off? Hang on. Is there a way I can turn that off? It might be in input settings, to be honest. Ah! Hold backwards to cancel diving. Thank you, thank you, thank you! I don't like that. Double jumping can't be done. Anyway, we need to get back up here again. So I just did all that off screen just to get back over there. Obviously, a couple more deaths were under my belt. So I don't know if I'll show... Well, obviously, if it was my last potential death, I would have shown it off randomly. Like I did when doing the speed run from outer space. Not speedrun. Yeah, speedrun from outer space. Okay, that normally works for me. Okay, that normally works for me. That's how I normally get up there, but it ain't working now. Is there any other way I could get up there? I guess this way. I guess I could go back up this way and try it. No, wait, no. Yeah, I could do that. Well, unless I completely miss. Okay, so now I'm back up here, so I should just be able to lunge to that one over there, or maybe even hop on the pink mushroom and basically just get across and do that. But if I grabbed at the ledge like intended, because Hat Kid for whatever reason wouldn't do it over there, I would have been fine, but... Ugh. There we are. We'll just do it this way instead. Actually, this feels a lot easier than what I was trying to do, because if you don't get the right height, Hat Kid won't grab the ledge, but sometimes she snaps on there. I wasn't getting enough height, to be perfectly honest with you, but you can do it that way, because that's how I normally did it. But there we are, we did it. All we got to do now is grab the timepiece without jumping, which apparently in the last mission was a chore. Wait. Oh, because it cuts in for the walls going, even though I would have taken the walls out. Yeah. I was about to say, what the hell was the game doing? I couldn't skip it, so that looked a bit weird when there was nothing for it to get rid of. Oh, really? Really? Oh, I was behind it. That happens to me in Rift Collapses as well. Sometimes I'm trying to grab the timepiece and I keep jumping around it. Oh yes, now we're delivering mail, because theoretically you don't need to jump once. Excuse me? Eat your mail! There we go! What the hell happened there? Why am I having weird problems with every one of these things today? Oh, and by the way, Hidden Mickey. I am not aiming at the... I am not aiming at the trees! Why am I not hitting this guy? Why am I having such weird troubles? It's the same mission as before. You don't need to jump. That's why I chose this one to be easy. But this one gave me more trouble because I couldn't shoot the damn buggers. And there we are. You just drive into the thing and you pick it up. And if you've got a bit of a weird angle, come up from the other side. You'll grab it. So that is now 3 out of 4. We've now got Train Rush to do. Alright, so make sure you have the ice hat equipped before you use the hook shot. Now, here's the thing you want to keep in mind, if I can talk, because obviously I'm now pressured on time. Just take your time and go through. There are checkpoints. Use them to your advantage. Use invincibility frames as well. As you see here, I am trying to take my time to get through this without taking too much damage. Because otherwise I'm going to have to replay bits. I took that hit, but it's fine. I was not metallic, but maybe I should be metallic for this. Screw it, if I die, I'll do it. Because it would probably be helpful for not taking damage, to be honest. But as you see, I'm going through, I'm running out of time. It's not actually that bad, to be honest. Just take your time and going through for now. This level ain't actually that hard as much as you would think it is. Right, so now we're on here. Just jump across. I did not hit it, but thankfully I reached the checkpoint part. So all I've got to do now is just get the hook shot, the hook. There we are. Get across this bit. And now, this is the hardest part. Get that checkpoint trigger, which is right by coming out. And now we got to get up this point, which is not as easy as it looks. No bonk won't actually allow you to climb this. And now, that ring. That bloody ring I hate with a passion. What we need to do is get over here. Right, then we need to... Right, now here's the problem. I'm not angled properly because the camera for some reason is snafu'd. So I'm going to, like, pretty much in the direction of my life counter, not slightly off from the middle. So this ain't helping me position. So I need to lunge, and yep, the positioning didn't help me there. So I might as well just die and restart my timer. Don't worry, as I said many times by dying, it's actually not counting my deaths, but like I said, I'll count them in editing. Because it's a candle mission, so it doesn't do that. But we want to click retry, because we're not going to go back to the beginning. We actually spawn here with 100 seconds. So that's actually pretty nice. And that's the 100 seconds you need. That is plenty of time. Of course, you want to grab a couple of clocks along the way, but please, camera, don't mess up again. See, this is the angle I'm supposed to have. Thank you. This is the angle I'm supposed to have. Right. Oh, I'm not making it, though. I'm not getting the speed that I need. I need to be able to reach that platform. Wait, isn't that platform? No, I'm going for the wrong platform, excuse me. I was supposed to be going for the other platform. So let me get back up there. Yeah, so I'm not cutting right now because I know this. Not how to do it well, but I know how much pain it causes me. Right, so I need a hook shot on here. Yeah, I'm jumping for the wrong one. Because that's too far to make. I've got to get to that one. But you still need to get the lunge. Right, so now we're here. Now, here's a problem. I'm supposed to bounce or hook onto the hook in the fire ring. I can't do either for whatever reason. Unless I get lucky. It said X. I pressed and hold X. It didn't hook. That's what annoys me here. So, I'm going to have a lot of deaths here, because if you fall, you might as well just restart with the timer full instead of continuing. Because 100 seconds, I was down to 60. So, yeah, not exactly... Well, I double jumped there to try and save myself, but that itself kills me because I went over the ledge. That can also happen because the camera decided to implode while I tried to recover, so I panicked and pressed the A button. I didn't mean to do a dash jump there. This is the point. And even then, if you mess up afterwards, that's really annoying. Oh, and my camera, and now my angle's skew with. Look at this. This is the worst camera possible. Okay, I somehow got that. But yeah, so like, you gotta... And the hook shot just doesn't go off. I hold X when I'm underneath, and it just does not go off for me. There's no point. The timer. Like I said, I'm not going to leave all these in, but I've told you the issue of what I have here. So, it's more like just a platforming challenge. Just don't hang around too long. This ring, this fire, the ring of fire is more like the ring of death. It's for friggin' Xbox, that's what it is. And I don't know why, but this hook always has a skew with camera when I get on it. I'll give it one more go here. I'm at the very edge. It says X. I hold the X button, but the hookshot don't go off. This is my problem with this ring. It pings, I do the thing, it don't do the thing. I don't even know why I'm still trying on this particular attempt. I'm not gonna have the time. Okay, I don't lunge. I figured it out. Okay, and I skipped that platform as well. Okay, that's helpful. Nope, I still need the ice hat. I still need the ice hat. Can't sprint. Oh, what? Wow. I mispressed. The combination is ZL. Well, left bumper, right bumper, jump. Basically, it's hat ability, lunge, jump. I did lunge. I did hat ability, jump, lunge, and that's how I died. Because you can't tap A has to be the third input, not the second input, and that's really hard when you're pressured. Now we're back here. So what we want to do is... Actually, we don't even need to use the hat to jump here. We can just do a lunge and we will make it. This timer, though, I tend to skip it. Just saying that right now. You can jump out if you want to. I would recommend do so. Like I said, doing that is not going to work. Thankfully that crashes. That's how you grab that. That was kind of just an impulse. But I used the ice hat height to get it, so that's an extra 20 seconds for me. Thankfully that guy went poof. Helpful. Yeah, because these guys explode. Alright, I recommend just taking a dive here, which I pressed the wrong button, so that's a problem. I took additional damage. I don't want to be taking additional damage. I need this clock. Oh, you cheeky bugger! There was health in front of me and he landed on me. Okay, we're back in. So let's hope that I don't mess that up. Like before, I wasn't expecting a lunge. I know it's about timing to get the lunge boost, but I don't intend to go for it, if you get what I mean. I didn't get the clock. That's a problem. But I need to grab that health at least. I don't want to be doing the lunge boost here. I don't really want to be taking silly damage either. Saying that, and I immediately fall into the lava. Go me. And I was facing the wrong direction. Now, don't help me! Okay, this is a problem. I need the... I don't need that on. I don't know why I got that on still. Yeah, why is that on? I never put that on. Alright, the mail badge also is basically an upgraded form. It just replaced it, so when I left, it just downgraded. Dang it, I need this. Please give me that PON. Thank you. Oh boy. Oh, this is not good. No, I tried to lunge. I even tried to use my hat. It didn't work either. What the hell? Both lunge and hat didn't want to work. Both my shoulder buttons just stopped working. You see what happens when you're put under pressure with a time limit? Your fingers can't work well, and your first instinct is to jump because it's a platformer. This is why I don't like zero jump challenges. And now I can go do this, hopefully without any fail. I say, and I almost get blasted in the face. Thankfully, that dude ate the that exploding cake, I'm gonna call it, ate that cannonball for me. Why do these panels remind me of the Snatcher? I mean, they're not, but still. And look at that, we've still got 40 seconds left. I haven't grabbed that many clocks. Okay, no! Oh! Poopy, poopy, poopy! At least I landed in, I went back upwards into a heart pond. I am not doing the jumps correct all of a sudden. That was stupid. Don't worry, we're still good. Right, I'm going to do this right. There we go. And with that, step on the button, and we're good.
Oh, you made it! Alright.
That was a lot less rage-inducing than I remember having in both practice while doing... Yeah, well, in practice. It's like, I practiced before recording a video, but I also practiced before starting covering Seal the Deal, like before this segment of the LP. So, both times, I mean, I didn't actually practice this particular one during, right before recording this video, because I didn't want to put myself in the pain twice, even though I had to before I started, you know, Seal the Deal coverage. That was a lot less rage-inducing than before. In fact, I was quite calm throughout most of that. It was just like, how did I mess that up? Oh, really? I got a jump to kill myself. If it looks like I died in a stupid place, it's either due to a misclick or I jumped on purpose because I fell and got sent backwards. But yeah, once you get past that ring of fire is pretty much the exact middle of the level, and that is the hardest part for me. But once I realised that all you got to do is just lunge and not jump out and just go straight for the hook shot, so you just lunge and then hook shot. That's all you got to do. But we need to go to Death Wish, either by talking to Snatcher or whatnot, because we've got something new. Well, like I said, you only need to get one stamp and not all three in order to get your reward. And by the way, everything we just did there, no peace and tranquility, so no easy mode for that. Excusing mods, but you know. We get the Nostalgia Badge. You know what? Screw the metallic. This kind of works as well. Everything is better when it's worse. You remember what this is in the trailer. Let's equip it. Let's get out of this menu. Doesn't affect art assets, but it does affect the resolution, because it's like, well, the game window is a 4x3, but, you know, when we pause, it re-expands, and when we're in menus, it re-expands. But yeah, it's a pseudo 4x3, despite the HUD not accounting for that. And everything is super low texture. Obviously, some special effects don't exactly work really well with it, but if you really want the authentic like low poly 64 thing, you might want to, you know, reduce it. But so it's like, I think it's 240p. That's why it looks so pixelaty. Kind of like CRT related. And you know what? Even if I take off this metallic and just go to anything, Hack Kid isn't actually affected. In fact, most models aren't actually low poly when this is happening. It's only mostly the world and your surroundings. However, if you remember, one of the very first things that we got by completing the Beat the Heat seal of the deal is Virtual Kid. And now you have your authentic, well, almost authentic, N64 style Hat in Time visual game. It's like, this is what you would expect to Hat in Time to look like low res. This, along with, you know, just the badge for the costume and whatnot. I mean, there are mods that give you the costume as a playable character, which you can only access with the panel, and you can dye it, basically. You can even have the low poly hats without wearing the badge, because if you notice, I've actually got the, well, if I bring up the wheel, actually, it'll be a lot easier. I've actually got Megamin's hat still on right now, but it's just the basic hat, low poly. That's how that works. But mod hats aren't affected, obviously. I mean, maybe their textures are affected. I'm not entirely too sure. I guess the rocket... No, they're not affected. They just have very blotchy textures. But it still makes them low res in some sort of way, but they're not affected. All flares for the main hats become this version, and obviously you can get mods to have this kind of thing as well. And you know what? I'm gonna challenge myself. I'm gonna keep the game like this, and we're gonna do the next Death Wish, and that is, well, first of all, I haven't actually turned that off, so if I jump once, I'm going to die unfairly, because we don't need that on anymore. We are now going to go back to Mafia Town, because there is no other ones that are actually free. I mean, this one's half full, but we can't actually do it yet. This one's 50% unlocked, we can't do that yet, but we can see what's necessary to be completed in order to do it, but the ones that we have available are now done, so that's a thing. So we're going to go for the next lowest common denominator, which is this particular mission right here. Collect-a-thon, of course. Now you know why I'm having this badge on. Collect 100 Pons, but your collection progress drains over time. You have 2 requirements, and this is what we're going to be finishing this episode on. We've got 2 bonus conditions, which are actually available for us. Don't pick up more than 200 Pons, and don't break any crates or barrels. Do not do both of these at once, because that's not going to be helpful, because as your progress is going to drain over time, it does count the overall Pons that you have collected, but you have to have 100 Pons with you at all times in order to beat the level. Breaking any crates or barrels will allow you to get up to 100 Pons without going over the 200 limit a lot easier. But of course, when we don't want to break any barrels or crates, we need to make sure we are efficient in grabbing Pons, so we don't grab over 200. I'm not going to commentate this, I am going to post-commentate. Okay, so I've sped the footage up because I don't actually have a lot of time left in the video, but not only that, this is only one run, because the first run I did was actually kind of rendered obsolete due to what happened in this run. You did not trip me up! That's not fair! That happened before, and their hitbox for tripping is way too ridiculous. Other than that little trip up right there, as I said, the previous run was kind of like rendered obsolete because I actually fulfilled not grabbing over 200 Pons in this attempt. It's because I normally do 2 runs, the first run being that I do destroy boxes in order to get the Pons necessary, while the second attempt I just use the sprint hat and grab like any Pons I see. But because I didn't grab over 200 in this particular take, I technically got that stamp for that requirement during this particular run. So the first run you're not seeing, the second run does all 3, even though I technically already have 2 of the 3 stamps, which includes not grabbing over 200. As you'll see from that little death counter above, if you grab over 300, you're gonna die. And if you hang on 0, you're gonna die as well. As you'll see here, that death icon above my actual count that's depleting slowly while we're running around, which is there's technically a time limit in a way. A lot of time limits in these death wishes, I will say that. But yeah, it's like, you'll see that I do not go below 100 Pons remaining into death, and if you go between the last 100 to 0 and to death, you will lose that 1 stamp. But as you'll see, I'm able to not break any crates or barrels while not collecting over 200. And there we are, we've got them all. And I'm pretty sure that it doesn't tick down even after that shows up, so yeah.
Here's a fun fact. There are no child labor laws in space.
I guess he would know that because, you know, we are a kid from space, but... And you're an evil being, at the same time, your tips or mannerisms don't matter to me because we are done for this episode. So, in the next episode, guys, I will take off this costume so that we actually have, you know, back to the best visuals part that I can muster. And in the next episode, guys, we continue on through the Death Wishes yet again. It wasn't actually that painful this time. Hopefully it won't get worse. See you guys next time.